Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of coffee or hot chocolate with marshmallow if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who became mad because a cashier refused to sell knife and lighters to her son. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. So, I'll just say that this is a recent encounter and it occurred on a GMOT server. Basically, the server was a Clone Wars serious RP server. Make note of the word serious. In other words, cheaters are hunted to extinction here. But we do still goof off, just not to the point of pure cheatery. So, I'm a shock ARC trooper, and at the time of this all happened, I was currently the highest ranking shock that was on the server. Higher ranking shocks existed, they just weren't on. Anyway, this dude joins in, requests to be trained, so I had to train high. Oh crap, right, I almost forgot our cast of colorful characters. Me. Monty Python's Flying Circus. EK. Mentally challenged knobhead. MODE. A super admin who was on the server. Super chill, but has zero tolerance for cheaters, but he's forgiving. EP. Entitled parent my guy. Helix. A fellow shock trooper, he's a medic. Fury. The clone commander, he's a freaking madlid in both definitions. Anyway, onto the tale of treachery. So, this kid logs on and requests to be trained. I was busy at the time. And so was everybody else, so we couldn't train him right away. Eventually, after about 5 minutes, I was able to go and train him. I head to the spawn area for cadets and I'm greeted with this idiot using his mic. Finally. I've been trying to get you to hurry your butt for hours. Well, that was rude, but I ignore it and begin training him. Surprisingly, it went smoothly, other than him complaining about formations, but they were minimum. So, he becomes a clone trooper. Then, we're called to debrief, so I bring him there. First thing he does. He goes up to the stand, where the freaking commander is supposed to be. Least to say, a moderator uses his physics gun to bring him back down. Then, the debrief starts. The commander begins speaking about a mission, when out of nowhere, we heard him say, "Oh my god, please shut up and let us kill things already. I'm sorry, but it seems you do not know that PTS is active. Since you seem to be new though, I'll let it slide. Anyway. We'll be encountering numerous CIS forces in the R. Shut up already, we don't care about this crap, let us." Did you not hear me say that PTS is active? Least to say, I immediately cuff him, as breaking PTS is a reason for arrest. What the hell, I didn't even do anything. Typing in RFAEK's username, disrespect of high command, breaking PTS, SEV4, 12 minutes. I then enter it into the advert and he begins screaming like a freaking banshee. That legit hurt my freaking ears, and I immediately left click to gag the ear murderer, and I drag him to the brig and set his timer of 12 minutes, ungagging him. Let me go right now. I didn't even hear the remainder of his sentence, as I just freaking left to head back to DB. Finally, the DB finishes, and I go to let his butt out. I turn back, and I hear him take out his DC-15A, and he freaking fires at me. Now, I will say this, I'm a crack shot with any taser in any video game, so I take out my taser, and tase his sorry butt to the floor, and cuff him, putting another RFA, this time the reason being attempted murder, or ARDM, and I contact the admins. So, the event starts as the map changes. That means that the craphead is uncuffed. So we spawn in. He begins opening fire on everybody, screaming bloody murder all the while. Least to say, MOD swoops in and takes him away via the physics gun. We go on with the event and suddenly I'm TPED to the sit where they're at. EK immediately opens fire on me, in which MOD jails him. You witch. You made fun of my angel. How dare you. MOD mutes her and lets me speak. Lady, I have been very nice to your son, I trained his butt to be a trooper, everything. It's entirely his fault that he got arrested for breaking numerous high severity rules. Unmuted, how dare you. This game is meant solely for active play. You show. Muted. MOD, could you just ban them? EK, has been banned 6 days. RDM, cheating. Good freaking riddance. Alright, could you TP me back? So he TPs me back, and I continue on with a mission with my team. Well apps crew. I'm a Star Wars fan, and this just made me laughing at this EK and loving that GMOT has Star Wars crap like hell yeah. Not much background, but this was around 2011, back when the Y was relevant. So I was at a video game store and I got the last copy of a MKWII, Mario Kart Y, if you didn't know. I spot a mom and her son looking for that exact game and found it on my hands. Here's where it gets interesting. EP, entitled parent, EB, entitled brat, M, mom, PO, police officer, me, try to guess. Hey kid. Would you mind handing that video game to my kid? No. Listen here kid, either you fork it over and pay it for me, or you get hurt. No. I run away to my mom, but I hid the game in one of the shelves, and it disguised very well with the other games on the shelves. Once I came to my mom, guess who's around the corner? EP screaming like a banshee. She was furious, and when I mean furious I mean furious. Is that your greedy child? Yes, it's my son. Why are you so angry towards him? That evil child stole my son's video game. No. Liar liar pants on fire. EP grabs my arm and sinks her nails in my skin. Ma'am, let go of that child. I refuse. Not till I get my revenge on this witch. PO somehow frees me from that demonic witch and cuffs her to ask one of the employees to see security camera footage. Besides, there was even an eyewitness who saw it all. EP showed no signs of being scared and PO reviewed the footage. Ma'am, looks like you're coming with me for assault, false accusation and child abuse. But my son has autism. Ma'am, I don't know who you're trying to fool, but that kid clearly doesn't have autism. Fine. He's disabled. What kind of disability? He's not good at reading. No, he's not. Come with me. Later on, after EP got arrested, the kid got picked up from what I presume is his aunt. I finally got my copy of MKWII and enjoyed that day. That witch scratched my arm that it bled that day also. Karma can be so sweet and yet so devastating. Edit. I forgot a huge detail. While EP was yelling at me, someone called the police. Why lie about your child being disabled or having autism? It ain't going to get you free stuff. She deserves jail time. And you deserve that game. So a bit of context, where I live you can't buy knives or lighters until you're officially 18. If you try, the cash register will shut down until a manager types in a password. At least in the store this happened and that happens. Basically the machine will scan whatever ID, and if it's not valid, or even says that the person is a day younger than 18, it pops up an invalid ID. Enter password to return to checkout, and in the case this happens, when no manager is there, which is rare, the staff are kinda stuck one register down until one arrives. Now I'm a regular there, so the employees know me by name, and I'm 18. I don't look it though. Also, the way this store is set up, you walk in the door and turn left into the store. The checkout line is blocked off by a rack, so if someone is blocking the path, it's hard to get through the store and back out the door. This was never really an issue, well, not usually. Sometimes a big cart was in the way, but the people would usually be polite and say something like, I'm almost done. I'm sorry for this. There are 2 registers in the store, one behind the other. Now onto the entitlement. So I had just finished shopping for dinner, got some spaghetti stuff and some lighters for my incense. I also had a small black pocket knife being held for me. I got in line behind this kid who looks to be 16 or 17 and was waiting patiently. This kid gets to the register and plops up a pocket knife and some lighters. I just wait my turn. The lady at the till, who we'll call A for awesome, scans his items, then he hands his ID. Apparently, he was only a few days from turning 18. The interaction that followed went something like this: the kid we'll call D for dummy. Will this be all? Yeah. Can you verify your age? I'm old enough, just scan the items. Starts to explain that the ID states he's too young. My birthday's tomorrow. Just sell the stuff and do your job. Shrugs and scans the items, then the ID machine flashes up the box. The manager was on break and so was not in store. I'm sorry, I tried to tell you, it wouldn't let you through. I'm not leaving without my items. At this point I had be there an extra 10 minutes longer than I had wanted. A calls over her equally awesome C coworker who opened register 2 and waved me over. Me and C start chatting as I am getting my things scanned, and in enters EM, entitled Mom. This was what roughly happened. Honey, we got to go. Have you paid yet? No, she's not letting me pay. Your ID has locked the register. I can't activate any of the functions to allow you to pay. She's lying. How dare you hold up my precious son? He's old enough, let him pay. Look ma'am, I can't open any of the functions until a manager arrives. Well then get them, she hisses out. I want to get you fired. She's on break, you're free to wait. Mum, I want my presents. You're too young, I can't sell these to you. No, he's not. Stop lying. Here, just scan my ID. That isn't how the system works. At this point I feel I'm getting stupider by witnessing this. I now put up my lighters and ask if they still have the knife. They say yes and pull out a tiny multi-tool pocket knife from behind the counter and scan it. I hand them my ID. Okay op, will this be all, or do you need new headphones again? Jokingly says this, it's an inside joke. Yeah, I'm fine. Scans my ID, non-drivers, and I pay. Entitled mother takes notice of this and screeches out. That girl looks to be the same age of my son. No, she's not, she's. Ma'am, I can assure you it's not fake. My ID doesn't work, give me yours. No, and as she said, the machine doesn't work like that. Great idea, honey, looks at me. Hand it over. Again, no. Ma'am, please stop harassing OP, she has done nothing wrong. And can you move, you're blocking the line. One sec, she reaches for my ID. Miss, I will warn you not to touch me. Now more context, I am military trained and have a ridiculous amount of strength due to a birth defect. Oh, don't be a witch. If you touch me, you will be restrained. I was in full view of the camera and said this very loudly so people could hear, as to cover my butt. I did not hurt her, just took her wrist and held it behind her back, pushing her down. She was quite small, so this was the best thing to do as to not hurt her. I am not a violent person, so this was keeping things from escalating. The police showed up and I let go once they did, as I didn't want to seem to be the aggressor. That's not what happened, sir. I can take one of you back to the CCTV footage. Fine, P2 get statements. P1 and C come back to the front. You're coming with me, ma'am, would you like to press charges? Yes, I would. Cuff her. Ma'am, do you want to press assault charges? Yeah, she dug her nails into my wrist. They left and everyone who had to wait in line got a free item under $5. We'll update if something crazy happens at EM's hearing. Update. At the hearing, the EM broke down in tears and pulled the insanity card, which after she had to get a wellness checkup, she is now in an inpatient hospital, and I had to get a restraining order against her husband. He came banging on my door and verbally berated me for 30 minutes. Once done, I calmly told him to get off my lawn. He banged on my door more. Actually cracking it, old house, and now I'm pressing charges for damage of private property. Ugh, these people, honestly, if the EM didn't pull insanity, this could have gone for a year or more. How and why do people think that the world revolves around them? Like she started talking about rights. Yeah, she tried getting her underage kid a knife, and then tried to steal and assaulted OP. What the hell? EP used to be friends with my family until they did this crap to us. And for your info, this was not the first time they dropped their kids at our house and left. This was the 4th time they forced us to babysit. I could not include all the times she has forced us to babysit, or this story would go on forever. That's enough backstory, so sit back, get some popcorn and enjoy the show. ED. Entitled Dad. EM. Entitled Mom. Me. D. My lovely dad. M. My lovely mom. EPK1. Entitled Parent Kid Number 1. EPK2, entitled Parent Kid Number 2. A few weeks prior to this event. Can you guys babysit my kids? No, sorry, we don't have time to babysit. EP drives away, completely ignoring us. My dad calls him. Hey, what the hell, you don't just expect us to babysit your kids without even. ED hangs up on him. So yeah, our whole day that day was ruined because of those entitled freaking parents, and I know many of you guys are gonna ask how come we didn't send their kids back home or call the police. The reason is, remember that earlier I told you guys our family was friends with them, so we were willing to help a friend out. And also my parents did not want to seem rude, so yay. A few weeks later. EP calls us. Hey, you guys mind babysitting our kids? No, sorry, we are busy today and I have work today. What about your wife, can she babysit? No, sorry, she has a big headache. Oh, okay, I understand. 10 minutes later, EM drives by and drops her kids at the front of our house. We told you already that we can't. EM yells at us. How dare you tell me what to do? My husband is busy today and can't take care of our kids. All we ask is for you to take care of them and you refuse. How selfish are you to not be willing to help me? T yells back louder. We freaking told you already that we are busy today. It's my freaking choice, I have the right to decide who to babysit. If you don't take your kids right now, I will call Child Protective Services and they will take care of it. EP drives away, ignoring us. So at this point my dad was pissed off. We wanted to go to the water park, but now we have to babysit EP's kids. We were being nice to them in the beginning and were willing to help them babysit, but mind you, this is the fourth time EP has forced us to babysit their kids. I could not include all the times they forced us to babysit their kids, or else this story would go on forever. So my dad drives to EP's house and drops EP's kids off there, and ED goes on a tantrum. Here is what basically happened. What the hell, why aren't you babysitting? I already told you I am busy today and can't babysit your kids. I have to work today. That's not my problem, you're not gonna force me to babysit for free. My dad drives away. 20 minutes later, ED and EM comes to our front door. ED pushes my dad to the wall and pulls out his fist and says, "I'm gonna rip your freaking head off." D being a savage, "Do it and I'll sue you for every penny you have." ED puts his hand off of my dad cause he knows what my dad said is true. "All I want is for you to babysit my kids, is that so much to ask? Next time you come to my house forcing me to babysit for you, I'm calling the cops, so back off and leave our family alone." My dad slams the door on him. So yay, after that day my dad had to always keep the doors locked because of EP. We live in a low crime rate neighborhood and never had to worry about locking our doors, but ever since that day we had to lock our doors. This story happened months ago and EP already moved away from our neighborhood. So now we don't have to deal with their crap anymore. But now I do feel really bad for whatever neighborhood they moved to. Hope you enjoyed this story. Good on your dad. I would have called CPS and the cops, but then again this has happened to me too, which is why I hate EPs like these two idiots. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman who thought if her child goes to private school he can do what he wants, and she got what deserved. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.